Hello, hello. Welcome back to 70s Daydreams. And we're here today doing the small one, which is from 1978. It's pretty short. It's 25 minutes.
It's also called A Christmas Miracle.
Yeah, in the UK.
This one is a featurette, which I believe they would probably show before a full-length film in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
The way they did a lot of those early cartoons. This one's about 25 minutes. And it's pretty cute. It's directed by Don Bluth. He's a pretty important name to remember. He worked at Disney, and he was one of the main animators on Pete's Dragon. And when he got his leave for all of the overtime he did, he took a bunch of Disney employees to start his own production company, and he kind of was one of the main rivals to Disney.
So this and Pete's Dragon were kind of like his last stand before.
Yeah.
I read also that this one was kind of a project to keep the crew busy before Pete's Dragon was made. So
so it was made before Pete's Dragon, but
it was released after. Yeah, and it was released as a featurette with Pinocchio, a re-release of Pinocchio.
It's easy to forget that they did so many re-releases of films in those days. So this one, the story's pretty simple. It's about a boy and the father. He has some donkeys they travel with, but one of the donkeys is pretty old and is starting to grow weak, and it's the son's favorite one, and he really likes hanging out with the donkey a lot. And then he tells his son, I'm sorry, but he
eats more than he brings in, basically.
Yeah, so he's like, we have to sell the donkey. And so the boy is really sad about that, and so he ends up taking the donkey to town to sell him. And the first place he's told to go is a leather maker, and he's going to make leather out of the donkey's hide. And then they both freak out and run. And then he tries to find some other places for the donkey to be sold. And they have some difficulty. No one really wants to buy the donkey.
Yeah, then like an auctioneer, and they have this whole kind of like humiliating the donkey in front of everyone. And then they kind of go and are crying in a corner. Yeah.
Finally, Joseph comes over. He's like, I can buy that donkey from you because my wife needs someone to carry her to Bethlehem.
And they're specifically looking for a gentle donkey, which I thought was nice.
Joseph being the father of Jesus in the Bible. That technically makes this a Christmas movie because the donkey that takes Mary to Bethlehem to give birth.
Yeah, and I think on the actual poster it says a new animation feature destined to become a Disney holiday classic, which I don't think that really happened. Yeah. But yeah, this definitely like was billed as like a Christmas holiday movie. You wouldn't really think or know it in the sense of like most holiday Christmas movies. You'd think snow immediately, like at least in the Western world, but there's no snow to be found.
It takes place in the Middle East, near Bethlehem.
Like, what were your overall thoughts on this one?
I thought it was okay. Nothing really stood out. There were like a couple moments where I thought the animation was a little wonky. I mean, I like it just because it's like a product of its time. So I always like seeing hand-drawn animation. And I thought the donkey was pretty cute. A lot of his expressions, and I liked how they took care of the donkey. I thought the boy looked kind of like the kid from Jungle Book.
Interesting you say that, because they reused some animation, and it was Mowgli from the Jungle Book, and they also recycled animation from Sword in the Stone, and that was like the Laughing Men.
I do like Sword in the Stone.
I don't remember that one well enough to remember what they would have recycled from that, but...
What are your thoughts?
Truthfully, I found this to be kind of a bummer. Like after I was done watching it, I was like, oh man, I feel really sad now. And not in a good way, because like I love a good sad, like, let it out type of movie or any kind of media. Like I'm definitely drawn to like melancholy or that sort of thing. But I think just the themes of this and like using animals and having them be like commodities and stuff, it was just somewhat of a bummer to me. And then I didn't find a whole lot that like that I was really captivated with. There were definitely points like animation wise that stuck out to me that were like really neat. Like in the very beginning, small one and the other donkeys had bundles of sticks on them, and the way that they animated the sticks, like they were so like varied, and then the sticks would change depending on like kind of how the quote unquote camera angle would like zoom in on them or zoom out on them, and I really liked that. And then there's a part where small one is on the auctioneer's block and the auctioneer pets him and like all of this dust and fur flies up. And I really liked that part. How the auctioneer's eyes kind of went like kaleidoscopic was cool. They seem to do that constantly in this era.
Yeah, and the Aristocats and Robin Hood and also the Rescuers.
Mm-hmm. And I would say like the cinematography, the way that they panned out to show like the scenery and the city and like how it would be like a pillar in front of them and then and they would kind of be in the background and you would see like a broom or something leaning up against the pillar, or there was like a fountain in the foreground and they're like in the background moving with like these bridges and stuff. I thought that added really interesting visual like depth and interest, and I'm super obsessed with anytime like the environment is a character or a city is a character, and I did feel like they brought that into this in a really nice way. Just like the overall story was just like a bummer.
Yeah, the backgrounds were very nice. I mean, that's also something I try to pay attention to in animated films because it really helps paint the world and gives you an idea of the space that they're inhabiting and what type of vibe it is. And also, like, do you want to go like more stylized or abstract or more, there's so many different ways you can go. Because they were like depicting people in like the Arab world, I felt like it wasn't very problematic. I felt like I didn't see, unless maybe I don't know enough about stereotypes, but it seemed respectful upon my first watching. I don't think I saw anything that was like grossly caricatured, but once again, I don't really know much about what those stereotypes might be.
There was one instance where the three singing guys and there was like a rewrite of the song in subsequent versions where originally it says something about if they can't get what they want, then they'll steal for it, and then they change it to that they'll work harder for it. And when I was looking around for this too, I saw certain sources were saying that they rewrote it because of Arab stereotypes. And then I saw other sources were saying they rewrote it because of Jewish stereotypes. So it wasn't really sure what one that was or like what it was depicting.
If they were depicting Arab people or Jewish people, right. I'm not sure. It was kind of a musical. Like they had some like singing.
There were 3 songs. And apparently Don Bluth wrote the songs with Richard Rich. So the 3 songs, the small
That's
one,
rich.
A Friendly Face, and the Market Song.
I mean, I thought like the 3 like singing guys were sort of a nice contrast because they were sort of like silly. I mean, they were kind of annoying, but I
was like, what's the point of this? Why are they here? What are they doing? And they didn't like add to the story really. Like it didn't like, no. I don't know.
I guess they just brought a bit more energy to the story.
Yeah, a little more goofiness to like a like morose kind of story. I thought in the beginning it was interesting too, because when the movie first started, I was like, why does this like little baby donkey look so old? Like I couldn't figure it out. And then they were like, oh, he is old. He's just a small donkey. And he's like so old that they need to sell him.
Yeah.
And that was kind of bumming me out too. This whole like usefulness and this idea of like you've outlived your usefulness. And like certainly there's lots of like movies out there that have like, harder themes and that sort of things, darker themes. And Don Bluth is known for like going a little darker, which I usually do appreciate. But I think in this one, the payoff wasn't enough for me to like kind of wrap it up in a nice bow. Like I think the ending is supposed to feel bittersweet, but it just feels like kind of bitter to me. Like where's the sweetness? I mean, that could be me coming from a background of like not being in the Christian religion anymore too, but
yeah, I'm sure maybe like some people who are very Christian would find it to be, oh, this is such an honor that your donkey gets to escort Mary to Bethlehem and where Jesus will be born.
Then what? Like, what's going to happen to him after that?
Yeah, well, maybe he will be handsomely rewarded and go to donkey heaven for helping.
Gosh, yeah.
Speaking of like outgrowing your usefulness, this one reminds me of Charlotte's Web, where the pig is like the runt, he's the smallest one of the litter, and therefore he's not, useful. I think they want to kill him, but the young girl like begs, no, please let me keep him. And so that's kind of like a parallel. And just like sort of the story as old as time of like feeling different. And in this case, it being a physical difference, but it was kind of cool that like instead of just being physical, it was like an age thing. Like, I don't know, I guess maybe like old people might be able to relate to this of even if you're not as strong and productive as you used to be, that doesn't mean that you should be discarded.
Yeah, but I just kind of felt like this one that the overall message of it was like you kind of should be discarded, but like that this in particular small one like has this like miracle or is saved, not necessarily because like he exists beyond his usefulness. It's just like, oh, we're going to give this one a happy ending. There's going to be a miracle for this one.
Yeah, I was kind of like not sure what was going to happen because I was like, well, there's not many places this can go because I'm pretty sure the dad's not going to keep this donkey.
Because I just kept thinking if I were that boy, I'd be like, oh my God, daddy ran away. Oh, it really sucks. Like, and I would have just like let him go or something besides take him to the tanner just for one silver piece or whatever, because they were selling that horse in the auctioneer for like 1,000 silver pieces or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, so, I mean, this donkey really like is worthless almost in a sense, like as far as like capitalism goes, or
I'm not really sure how people reacted to this one.
I didn't find too much on it. And so that's really the interesting thing to me again about like it's saying it's a featurette destined to become a Disney holiday classic. And it's like, I've never heard of this one before, before we decided to do it, and there's not a lot of information that I found online about it, and you can even watch this one on YouTube, like which like Disney is very precious about their stuff and usually gets things taken down very quickly. I found it in lots of places on YouTube, so like
yeah, they're not super precious about it. The small one, that was cute though, that his name or her name was the small one.
Yeah. When it started too, I was like, oh, who was the boy, the voice of the boy? I was like, it really sounds like Pete to me. And it was Pete. It's Sean Marshall. So
it was Pete from Pete's Dragon?
Sean Marshall. There were a couple other pretty famous voices in there too. So the auctioneer was Otis Campbell, the town drunk on the Andy Griffith Show, and also Owl in Winnie the Pooh. Uncredited, the Potter is the voice of Tony the Tiger and You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, that song. And then uncredited, the baker also is Rabbit in Winnie the Pooh. So some very well-known voices in this one.
Yes, looks like it had most of the ingredients. It just didn't really... Maybe Mr. Bluth was already planning his exit and he was kind of just phoning it in. I don't know.
Maybe so. I think that for me, this one could have really used like more depth of character, more stakes in the beginning. Like if we saw the boy's relationship with the donkey more before, and less of the story was about the selling.
Yeah,
to me,
most of it was about the selling,
right? And because that part was just, it just felt terrible to watch. Like most of it was just like, I don't love that. I don't like this system at all. Like this is really sad. Like so like from several angles, it's very sad to me. you can listen or watch it yourself and see if you agree with us.
I'm on Letterboxd right now, just looking at some of the reviews and what other people thought about it. It has a 3.5, which is pretty good. So maybe
I think the church got to us a little much.
I will say there is this one funny review by someone named Mary, and it says, "A pregnant woman is way heavier than a pile of sticks." I'm just saying.
Yeah, I did have that thought too. Maybe Mary was like super small, and who knows how pregnant she was at that time. Was she like ready to give birth, or how long did she stay in the manger? Because I don't think Joseph in this movie said like my pregnant wife. He said my wife. Like he wasn't like. So maybe Small One was signing up to like, oh yeah, let me. And then he gets there and he's like, "What do you mean she's pregnant?" Like, why don't you just take me to the tanner?
The small one.
The small one. We've got maybe a smaller episode for the small one.
Another in the lost decade of Disney animation.
We'll be finishing that up with this season.
But I mean, in my opinion, I think it's a pretty good decade for Disney. They have some pretty interesting things going on.
Yeah, and definitely some drama and stuff that we've been able to talk about too, like with the animators. So,
all right, y'all.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Bye-bye.